It's against the guild code.
Show stops mid-previously on to confirm that we are, in fact, watching a previously on. Look, if your previously on needs an intermission, it might be too long. Believing that spinning this fast and the associated nausea will make you a better shooter. It's frankly ridiculous how little the Razor Crest is hit, and even more ridiculous that it survives the few occasions when it does take a direct hit, which is made even more especially ridiculous when the other bounty hunter ship is destroyed with the first shot.
Bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
This version of the I can bring you in dead or alive cliche lacks clarity, and could be misinterpreted as I can bring you in with or without a cardigan.
That's my line.
Fine, you get a sin for it as well. This man's scream echoes in space.
This is Mos Eisley Tower.
Yay! Tatooine! Again. Seriously though, what are the odds that Mando gets into a fight close enough to a planet that he can crash land on, let alone one that can sustain life, and also just happens to be tattoo-forcing again? I suppose the sheer weight of fan service is enough to increase the sandy ball's gravitational pull far beyond the expected norm. Mando's a dick to the prequels.
You damage one of my droids, you'll pay for it.
Just keep them away from my ship.
Joe has apparently chosen droidist discrimination as the best way to give Mando some edge.
Look at that.
Mechanics. These maintenance droids are cheating, so not only have they been uselessly programmed with the ability to play a card game, but also how to cheat and the benefits that come with winning. I'm just saying that I feel like this is a slippery slope to we don't need the squishy meat sacks anymore, and probably shouldn't be allowed.
The Bounty Guild no longer operates from Tatooine.
If you're looking for work, have a seat, my friend.
Mando and Calican both luck out in extraordinary fashion here. Mando manages to get work despite the guild not having a presence on Tatooine, and Calican manages to get a freaking Mandalorian land in his lap to help him with his quest. How long did Calican plan on hanging around? And what would Mando have done if Calican wasn't relying on dumb luck and this bar's reputation to catch Fennec?
Think again, Tin Can.
Show has apparently chosen droidist discrimination as the best way to give Calican some edge.
Fennec Shand is an elite mercenary. If you go after her, you won't make it past sunrise.
You can keep the money, all of it.
Somehow, knowing that he'll get all of an undisclosed bounty instead of half of an undisclosed bounty is enough to convince Mando that catching Fennec is now a thing that can happen.
And give me the tracking fob.
Don't worry. I got it all memorized.
But the tracking fobs are tracking Fennec as she moves, right? And if they're not, then they're totally f***ing useless anyway. If Calican or the fob is working from one set of coordinates, then Fennec could easily double back, and then the two of them are just going to be walking around the desert like a couple of assholes. And I've seen quite enough of the Book of Boba Fett already, thank you. Being surprised that your child went missing after leaving the front f***ing door wide open.
What'd you expect? Like Corellia.
I'd Google what Corellia is, but if anyone would like to give me a hand, that would be great. I'm getting fed up tracking all of this solo. The Fast and the Forciest. All this speeder bike action really highlights just how much of this episode is a celebration of being in transit. I'm not just saying that these fobs do most of the heavy lifting in the bounty game, like telling you where to go and how close you are, but it's also that it might be more fun to watch Mando track the targets with skill and cunning as opposed to Google Maps.
Hit me in the Beskar. And at that range, Beskar held up.
The statement is redundant because later on the armor will also hold up at close range. Regardless, I'm still confused as to why Fennec isn't going for the squishy bits between Mando's literal plot armor.
You see where that shot came from?
Yeah, came from that ridge.
The specificity of that ridge really doesn't cut it when you follow up with this shot of all the ridges. This is only about 10% more helpful than saying that way without putting any hands up. If you have to remove your signature helmet in order to use your signature weapon, might I suggest that one or both of these two signatures may need rethinking? Fennec distracts Tora with a throwing knife to the blaster, then has enough time to run and kick said blaster away despite having a f***ing gun. Yes, it's a long-range weapon, but I've played enough video games to know that being no-scoped with a sniper rifle is just as likely to work and 1000% more infuriating.
It looks like you got off easy.
Thinking that having a new suit means that a person hasn't been through some
Looks like one of us has to walk.
Or we could drag you.
You can't really do that because of plot reasons, but it's definitely a viable option, and if the show wasn't going to use it, then it really shouldn't have brought it up.
Watch her. And don't let her get near the bike.
There's no reason for Mando to take the risk of leaving Fennec alone with Calican here when the show has gone to great lengths to show us that they're fully capable of walking through sand for extended lengths of time.
Bringing you in will make me a full member of the Bounty Hunters Guild.
28-minute episode chooses to repeat information we already have. It's called The Mandalorian, not the over-explain every plot point, Ian. Fennec survives this.
If the Mandalorian's worth more than you are, well, who wouldn't want to be a legend?
But also, why doesn't he want Fennec to survive this? Regardless of how much the bounty on Mando is worth, there's still money to be made from taking in Fennec. Take her in, get the bounty, tell them where Mando is, and then boom, double the legendary. Why is Calican holding the blaster on Mando? Mando doesn't care about being shot, and he'll probably think twice about any sudden moves if the blaster stays trained on the adorably squishy piece of product placement Calican is holding. Necrostelia. I hear spurs, but I do not see spurs. What's this? The pedestrian equivalent of pumping fake engine noise through your speakers? Also, we're supposed to be rooting for Mando, but he just assumes Finnick is dead without checking, which leads to this scene, which in turn leads to 5 full episodes of Boba Fett. Thanks, Mando.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
This is it, Maverick. I'm gonna hit the brakes, he'll fly right by. Shit, he's gonna get a lock on us!
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand.
Hey, droid. I'm a hunter. I'm looking for some work.
Tell you the truth, I don't give a shit.
Wait. Hey, I thought you needed work.
I don't want your life.
If you go after her, you won't make it past sunrise.
I've never had a kiss when I wasn't one of the kissers.
This is a fertile land, and we will thrive. We will rule over all this land, and we will call it this land.
You know, I really should thank you. You're my ticket into the guild.
Nobody cares.
How can we be sure he's the one?
Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it.
You want to be a bounty hunter?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
The Mandalorian's worth more than you are.
Legend. Wait for it. And I hope you're not lactose intolerant because the second half of that word is dairy.